Hey guys, Ramblin Bob here again, and we have a new sponsored company for the channel. I want you to say hello to VTOMAN.
Hi.
Hi VTOMAN, thank you.
Hi.
So they were nice enough to send us over this power station, and this is called the what was it called? The VTOMAN Jump 600X portable power station. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. There's that warning, guys. Watch out for that warning. All right, so we're going to open this bad boy up here. Okay.
Yay.
I haven't heard too much about this company, but I'm really thankful that we're starting to get sponsors on the channel, right? So we can try this technology. Guys, I feel like a 10-year-old kid in a candy store. I can't stop talking about it. I ramble about it, like even at work. I ramble about power stations.
At work.
It's crazy. At home, at dinner time.
Sleep.
In a sleep time, yeah.
While you're awake.
Okay, it's in there pretty good. All right, so we're gonna have to let's do some slicing. I don't know if I can get that out of there. It's really in there good. Let's see if you hold that. I gotta get my fingers in here.
Yep. Oh my goodness. They got it in there well, huh?
Okay, there it is. Okay, guys. That was a lot heavier than I thought. All right, so this is what we got here. This will be the unboxing, and then we'll hop into the review process later. But now this is, like I said, this is a brand new sponsored review from VTOMAN. I kind of like, it reminds me of Pokemon, but it's VTOMAN. Super safe Life BMS power station. So I believe this is a lithium-ion battery pack. 299 watt hours with a 600 watt inverter. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here.
You can go camping with it, it says.
It says you can go camping with it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
It's different. It is different.
I hope it's small.
And it's got, oh, where's that other box? Guys, they sent me this first, and I wasn't sure what this was, but this is by VTOMAN. And it's this little cable thing, so I'll show you this in a minute. But we opened this before. We had no idea what this was or how to use it or what it was even for. Yeah, it was like, okay, we got a box from VTOMAN, thank you. But we had no idea. Now, after reading about it, we understand what this, yeah, it makes sense, okay. But if you get this and you open it up and you don't know what it is, you're lost. You were like, okay. Okay, so let's do the unboxing, guys. I'm excited. Are you excited?
It's like doing the end part of the puzzle, but not the beginning, where you're like, I don't, you know.
Yeah, well, you have the answer, but you don't know the question, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's open this bad boy up here. I'm really excited. Are you excited? I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see and test and try every power station ever made. Even if they're too big or too small for me, I still want to test them. I think the guys that we watch on that live stream that we were watching before, the luckiest guys in the world, they get to test and play with all this stuff. Look at that, VTO friendly tips here. All right, it says, do not disassemble, guys. Don't mod this, okay? Repair or modify the unit or the battery. Do not expose product to fire at excessive temperatures. It will explode. Okay, that's, yeah, see, that's dangerous. Do not charge, use, or store unit in a bathroom or area exposed to, it says rain or moisture. I think it's rain or moisture. Excuse me. Keep the unit away from children. Of course, guys, you want to keep anything that's a battery away from kids. And then here's the
my favorite part.
That's the owner's manual. Okay, so I'm not gonna look at it at first. I'm gonna see if I can figure it out without it, and then I'll get hollered at, and then I'll bring that back out and take a look at it. Well, let's look at that. This is the unboxing. Let's take a look at it here, guys. All right, so here's it's packed well, guys.
Foam.
So you got foam. I like foam, and I like
so does Ramblin Bob
extra cardboard. So this double-walled cardboard and foam. That's good because when you ship this stuff, guys, it can be very dangerous. Okay, as you guys saw on the channel before. All right, so you get two little boxes here. They're just white boxes. Who knows what's in there?
A box inside a box.
Box.
Double
box. Oh, you know, this is it here, guys.
Wait.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay.
Did a turkey just open that?
It was opened by a turkey. All right. So this is, like I said, it's a VTOMAN Jump 600X. Oh, look, babe, look at what it's got.
Oh, it's got one.
Oh my God. Okay, wait a minute. You take this. All right. We're gonna make her suffer, guys. Okay. So we're gonna put this real close to the camera here, and you can do your.
Can you do it now?
Yeah, your peely thing. All right, get it.
Oh, it didn't come off.
Was it on there?
Just the tab came off.
Denied.
Oh, when you said you're gonna
wait, was it just a tab?
I don't think so.
You got denied, guys. She was denied.
When you said you're gonna
Wait.
make me suffer, I didn't think you meant this bad.
Holy cow! Is it there? I think it's there. Hold on.
We'll have to figure it out later.
Guys, I don't have any fingernails. Oh wait, look. Oh, what I got. Look what I got. Oh, okay. Oh, there was no noise though. It didn't make any noise.
It was still satisfying.
All right, guys, that's pretty neat looking. Holy cow! It's very wide. It's very wide base.
And yellow.
The handle looks very strong.
So far, I'd like to say it's very gray and very yellow.
You know, I normally, guys, I gotta be honest, I normally don't like when handles stick up in the air because when you put stuff on top, right?
Yep.
So that's it. However, in this instance, guys, can you see that little bucket?
Yeah.
Hand me a handful of change or something.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
I don't see a cell phone thing, but I have an idea. Just a little, you know, a few pieces. Okay. There's like a little, what would you call it? Like a swimming pool kind of area there. Where it's,
A groove?
yeah, like it's down, you know?
Like
So you can like see how you can store stuff in there?
A
Like your
valley.
keys or something like that? Well, that's different. I've never seen that
cord?
before.
You could put a cord in there, like a small one if you needed to.
Yeah, you can roll it up in there, I suppose. Yeah, the handle is hecka strong though. Holy cow, is that strong? Guys, look, I can barely bend it. That's really strong. Then we got a light bulb here. Look at that. Oh, capacity 78%. Whoa, that was kind of cool. Did you see that?
It was like.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, okay, that was enough. Okay.
Okay.
So 3 guys. Holy cow. Look at that. 10 watts. Holy cow, guys. Here, let's turn this off, guys. Let's, I want to show you that in real time. Holy cow. Okay. So check this out here. This is that light, and it's not like a traditional light where it's like boom. It's a wash light. Okay, so I'll put it on the wall, guys. You ready? Look at that. That's crazy. Look at how bright that. Holy cow. Look at it. Makes the entire screen go dark. Okay, turn the light back on, babe.
Hey, what about the last ones? Aw.
No, I don't like that because some people can't use strobe lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, make the joke that it has SOS or rave afterwards. Those are the next options.
Yeah, it seemed like it seemed like a party one. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
SOS, and then we're having a party.
All right, so first impressions, guys. It feels like. Now I'm gonna guess before I look at the specs. So we'll break it down in the specs. It feels like maybe about 20 pounds. That's what it feels like. Real close to about 20 pounds. It's got a very wide base. See, it's wide, kind of like a car battery kind of size.
I'm looking at the front of it already. I've looked
All right, well let's start at the top. So you got the handle, and you got this little indent here that you could throw stuff in. See, like you could like store stuff in there. You know that's cool.
Cable, you know, a small cable.
Yeah, you could probably stick a cable in there.
Maybe a phone would fit in there.
I don't know if a phone would fit in there, but you know, like your keys or change, you can set it. I don't know if that's good to put on top of a power station, but since there's no wireless charging, I can't see that really hurt anything. You know, just to kind of toss something in there. You know, like say, here, guys, watch this. So say you have a bunch of this stuff, right? See that? And you just kind of see how it stores in there. You know, I don't think that's a permanent place for it, but you know, I don't think like if you put your keys there, you wouldn't lose them at night, right? You know where they are. You know, your driver's license, if you show your wallet or something. You know, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking out of the box here. All right, let me put these back here. And I'm really excited because, like I said, this is another new piece of technology that we're gifted enough. We're lucky enough to put our fingers on it.
To touch all the buttons of.
Yeah, and on top of that, guys, 100% sponsored review. I didn't have to pay a penny for this. Oh, there's that. Everyone does that.
I'm not doing it.
That's a normal thing.
You can't make me.
Yeah, no, you're gonna do that?
No.
Okay, you shouldn't do that, guys. Don't put your fingernail like that. You know.
Yeah, I'm leaning by example.
Most people go like that. They like that one guy. He puts a glove on and he does. But that's funny.
I'm leaning by example. I'm not gonna do it.
Smart. See, Miss Ramblin Bob is smarter than I am.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do what we do, guys. Just laugh at what we do and then we go forward. Okay, so I'm going to read what it has here just by guessing, guys. Yeah. And then, like I said, in the review, I'll do the specs. So in the top, you have the little indentation and that big handle. I do like, right off the bat, I do like when the handles are not there, though, or they're foldable. I do like that, though, so you could stack them. I guess this system, you can put another battery to it, though. So maybe the next battery will be flat and you put this on top.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have to see, guys. I have no knowledge about this at all. So you have an input here, which is a barrel. It looks like about 5521 input. You got the DC outs. So all you got to do is hit the button one time and then hit the DC. Look, it pops on right away. It says 99 hours. You got 2 barrels out and 1 cigarette lighter out. I'll look up the specs later. and then you just turn that off like that. And then here's your USB section. So your USB button. Well, let's turn them all on here.
Oh.
So DC's on, and now your USB is on, and then your Type C. Now notice that came up as Type C and USB. So, you know, even though it's in one bank, they could have just did USB, but, you know, it was nice enough to put Type C and USB, maybe to fill up the board, and I'm assuming the AC will be right here. So you hit the button, boop, look at that. Oh, yeah. High five. High five.
Whoa.
Okay, so usually when you turn on the AC, you always get to start up a fan.
I always forget that. It scares
I do
me
too.
every time.
Yep, I do too. All right, so let's turn all those bad boys
Looking
off.
at all the USB ports we get here.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's run through them. So we did this and we did this.
Yeah.
And then your USB port, guys. So you have one USB-C up here, and it looks like it says 5 volts at 2.4 amps, and I think that's referring to these.
Yeah.
So you have two what are they? USB-A grandpa dinosaurs, they call them.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yep, and then you have a quick charge, which is one step up from that. It's 18 watts on this one. And then we're going to have to see if that's a 60 or 100 watt output on this one, because the USB-C usually comes out bigger.
So is the bottom one a quicker moving dinosaur? Is that what you're saying?
This is a quicker moving dinosaur. Yeah, these are the ones you can't catch.
Oh.
And then on this side, here you have two AC receptacles, and it says here at 110 volts at 60 hertz. So that means it's pure sine wave, I'm assuming. And like I said, we'll read the specs later. It has a very, you know, like it's hard to explain. It has a very different look of what I'm used to. Like when I first saw it, I thought this was the back. Normally, guys, the lights are on, when they're like this, they're on the back of the unit.
Yeah.
But on this one, there's nothing other than the specs. And usually the light would be here. So, you know, it is kind of nice, I guess, that you can have, you know, that light on the front of the unit. So it is different. Otherwise, that light would be shooting out the back. So, yeah, so let's pop through that real quick. All right, so those are off and nice and safe. You got 78% capacity. They shipped a little high. I always like to see these shipped at 30 to 50%. You know, I like to stay under 50% for safety. Lithium can be, you know, kind of scary. Okay, and then you got these two little holes right here, little flaps. So you have basically, it looks like a male and a female, and one is for a jumper cable for the car, and one is for battery charging, I'm assuming. So that's input, and then these are probably straight outputs where you don't have to turn them. They probably have access to the battery packs right away. And, you know, you probably just plug it in. Now, I want to jump ahead here. Let's go to this, and I want to show you this thing, because now this makes sense, right?
I've been sitting here quietly thinking, oh, that makes sense now, but it won't make sense to anyone else till it makes sense. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So if I showed you this before we showed you this, you'd be like, well, what the heck is that for? So that's what we did, you know. And like I said, we're students of the solar power industry here. We're still learning every day.
Does it make sense?
Oh boy, okay.
Get it?
All right, so here we got two boxes. These are just plain white boxes. You're gonna see what's in there.
You forgot to laugh.
Okay, ha 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 ha.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm assuming that these are the cables.
I'm assuming they are boxes.
No, but there's something inside the boxes.
Oh, they're filled boxes.
Well, here, that's what we got. This is what we got here. Okay, so look at that, guys. Yeah, well, you know, that's nice.
That is nice.
Okay, so that's different. All right, so let's 86 this one. We don't need that box anymore. Okay, so right off the bat, we have this thing, okay, which is the AC. Boy, we needed this at that show we did. Can you believe that?
I thought it was a square and a circle, but yeah, something like that, right?
That's crazy. Remember, we needed the 2 rounds.
Oh.
So guys, that show we did with that other power station, we needed a cord like that, and we went over all heck and back to look for a cord like that so we can use something at the show. And then, now this is the second one in 2 days we got.
Well, that's the whole way life goes,
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so I know what this is in here then. I know what this is. And I'm surprised that didn't ship with that. But, okay, hopefully can you guys see this here? I don't want to, let me see if we can.
Back up.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, so, okay, so here's what we got here. So,
there you go.
Can you see it okay?
Yeah, nice.
Okay, oh, sorry about that, guys. We couldn't see that there. So this is the AC cord.
We get excited.
And we're still new at this, guys. Like I said, this is really exciting industry. I would love to work with this industry just so I can get my fingers on every one of these. And we're kind of doing that now with this channel. So I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. Boy, it's just fun. I feel like a kid at Toys R Us, every day you open a box, that could be anything in there, right? I had no idea that they were even going to send me what they sent me. So thank you, VTOMAN. That's awesome. All right, so this we have a probably a 5521 barrel, and then a cigarette port. So you put that in right there in your car, and then you plug this right there, and then well, tight fit, and then you put that. That's good though. When they're snug, it's very good.
So that can charge from your car?
Yep. So you can charge 12 volt right into this bad boy.
Oh, while you're driving and stuff?
Yep. You're not going to get a ton of power out that, but guys, if you're driving, you might as well throw it in anyway, right?
If you're going camping like a long distance, you can, you know, charge it and then get there and you have.
Yeah. So it's like, okay. So guys, if you drove 10 hours, just say, right, and you got 50 watts per hour. You know, by the time you get there, let's see, 50 times 10, that's 500 watts you could put into here just by driving your car. You know, it's not going to hurt anything. It's coming right off your alternator. All right, and that thing works whether, you know, you want it to or not when you start your car. Now, this is different, right? This I haven't seen this in a power station that we actually received or bought in the past. It comes with an A to a C USB cable, guys. I think that's very rare. I've never seen that before.
You know,
it's a nice touch.
Yeah.
I think everybody has these already, but you know what? You can always use more because you always lose them. Yeah. Is it on camera, dear? Can you see that good? You see all the cords there?
Now you can.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Like I said, we're still new at this.
We're excited.
And then this one, I really am. Oh my God, I really am. Okay, so
is that C to C?
This is C to C now.
Oh, sorry.
So that's a power delivery C port. So okay, so that's what you got. And now I'm assuming I know what's in there. I think that's the other AC brick portion because I think that this is too small to have the actual. Yep, there it is. So it's actually too small to have the AC to DC. You know, inside the unit, very, very small. It kind of looks like a baby laptop one. And then, you know, this bad boy goes into here. So I'm surprised that these two didn't ship together.
I was wondering what that was for.
Yep. Now we know.
What it would plug into, and then that makes sense.
Yeah, now we know. So here you got a little, you know, your AC to DC plug right there, and then you have your cigarette lighter is DC to the barrel, and then you have your two. These guys, this is a plus. You know, I've never seen a power station give you USB cables. Just, you know, they toss them in a box. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so now we saw the unboxing, guys, and then of course you get the owner's manual, which I'll never read.
No.
Off camera, I will. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
And then, you know, we can kind of read all the specs when we get to the review process. Okay.
I'll read it.
Yeah. And then you like that? I'll read it. Okay. I was talking outside my mouth. Okay, so now this thing, guys, this thing will make sense now, guys. Okay, so like I said, we got this first and we had no idea what the heck to do with it.
No.
We didn't know how to hook it up or what it was, or.
We were like, yeah, it's a this.
It's a this, and we were like, oh, okay. But guys, it makes sense now. So
much sense.
who knows what this is right off the bat?
Ooh, me.
What?
Oh.
You already know what it is now.
Oh.
Okay. Go ahead, you can answer it.
No, I want to answer now.
All right, guys. So what this is I believe inside here you have capacitors that charge up, and then boom, you can start your car. I think that's why they call it a Jump 600, isn't it? It's a VTOMAN Jump 600.
Jump 600 export, yeah.
Yep, so it's a VTO jump, as in like a battery jumper, right? So you would basically plug this bad boy in here. And now I'm going to do it just for a second. Now I will keep these far apart here. I always like to keep, you know, these far apart. That way they don't touch each other. Because here's your, you know, your positive up here, and here's your negative. I keep them apart.
It's okay to do that.
See, oh yeah, because see, you got the plastic protecting it. See, and then under that you got the silicone. So you're very well protected doing that. And that's a way for these to never touch. I don't think they would anyway, but secondary safety like that.
Make them not touch, just to make them touch by not touching.
Yep. Okay, so now this side is a straight battery port where either you want to come like probably out of the, you know, to charge something or run it right up the battery. And then this is the jumper cable side. So I have a feeling that you take this little guy, and I don't really know how to do it. Okay, like this. All right, so you plug that in like this, and then...
Oh. It's something popped up. It says 78% capacity.
Yep, so turned on, and then when you hook these bad boys to your car battery, and say your car battery is dead, it'll come up here, it'll say connect, and I think that turns green, and then you can either hit the boost button, and you could start your car right away. Now we're going to unplug it because, yeah, like I said, you don't want to monkey with this stuff in the house. And then there's probably leftover energy now in that capacitor from being plugged in. So what I like to do is leave these guys alone and leave them like this for a little while, just so it burns up that extra energy out of that capacitor.
Oh, pick me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Residual energy.
There you go. Residual energy can be very dangerous, absolutely. Because you know what's dangerous about residual energy?
It's still there.
You forget it's there, yeah? All right, guys, well, that's it. Holy cow. So recap real quick. You get the Jump 600X. power station. Thank you, VTOMAN, for sending us this. We're
you.
very privileged to be a part of any of these. So thank you very much. So you get the cig to the barrel. You get the which is short for cigarette lighter, but you know nobody does the cigarettes anymore. So it's cig to the barrel, and then you got AC to DC conversion here. Your little box here, and these awesome. Got VTOMAN awesome. That's special to throw those in there like that. You know,
Yeah.
these are probably $5 a cable. You think? You know. Here you got the instruction manual, which I'm not going to read. I'm going to read later. And then then you got this stuff. Now this thing, guys, this is sold separately. You have to buy this separately.
Yeah.
And do you have the box that came in, dear, real quick? Did we have the maybe it's here.
This one?
Okay, so here, this is this, guys. You have to buy this separate. And this is the VTOMAN portable jumper cable. So basically what that is, guys, is it's about $30 and you have to buy that separately. This part does not come with this, which is why, guys, when we got this box first in the mail, we were like, what are we supposed to do with this? We don't have anything to hook it up to. But now, obviously, this is designed for it. It makes sense, right? It really makes sense. So, all right. Guys, I think there's... I think there's only one thing left to do, guys, and that is 1, 2, 3. Let's get ready to ramble! Okay, guys, let's take a look at the VTOMAN or the VTOMAN 600X. Okay, so what this thing sports is the model number is called a PB20. That's a P and a B, 20. It's a 299 watt-hour lithium iron phosphate. Now, I know I said it was a lithium ion. I should have known by the weight right away that it's lithium iron phosphate. So the nice thing with these is you got about 3,000 cycles on those batteries as opposed to the lithium ion batteries, and a much safer chemistry. So that's a plus. Okay, so we have the DC input, which is over here. You got 12 volt up to 30 volts, so that you could run 12 volt solar panel. I wouldn't go any higher than that, guys. And then I believe the input is 65 watts. So you're maxed out at 65 watts. What I would do is I would put a 200 watt panel into this. Now a lot of people would say put 100, but I like to over panel, guys, and that way you always get that full 65 watts, even though like on a really cloudy or crummy day. So I always over panel. I'm a big fan of that. As long as you don't go over the voltage, I like over paneling as far as the amps, because you're definitely going to get a lot more on those bad days. Okay, so your AC inverter here says it's 600 watts and a 1200 watt peak. We're going to try and see if that can handle that. Then you have the car charger, which is this little guy here, and this will be able to bring out up to 65 watts from your car as you're driving, and that way you can have a little bit of extra power, before you get to where you're going. You're not going to get a ton of power from your car battery, but what you do get is a little bit of extra. So if you want to put a little bit extra battery in there, you can. You figure, why not, right? You're driving anyway. You're not doing anything, so you might as well hook up something and get some extra energy. One thing I liked about this power station, guys, is this little, like a little recess thing right here. So I was trying to think of the best place to use that, or use in that, and I thought, you know what, if you use this in your work area, and you have, like, say you have a bunch of tools. I think I put this in the other one. Like, say you have let's see, here you got a screwdriver, so you can put little stuff in here like that. So if you're taking, here's a ring, if you're taking stuff apart, right, here's a extension. If you were taking stuff apart, you had like little screws and stuff like that, like here's, say you had for any reason, just like a battery or something, you can put it in there and it kind of keeps it where it doesn't get thrown around the work area. So if you were taking something apart, you could put the little screws in there or something like that, for electronics. So I was just trying to think of something that would be beneficial for this, because this is the first time I've ever seen a power station that I reviewed that had a little recessed area like that. I kind of liked it. I didn't know what you'd do with it at first, but now I'm thinking, you know, if I let's just say for argument's sake, you had this on the side of a freeway there, you're taking off a spare tire, you know, you put the lugs in there or something like that. So I think it's nice. I'm usually not a fan of handles that stick up like this, guys, and the reason for that is because you can't stack stuff on top. I think that's a real big thing. Is I like to stack stuff on top, and that way you can put power station on top of power station on top of power station. Okay, you have your USB A output, which is the 2 here, which is 2.4 amps. Okay, which would be 12 volt outs, and then you have the quick charge, which is a QC. That's an 18 watt out USB. These are called grandpa ports. I hear that from all the younger generation is the dinosaur ports or the grandpa ports. And then it does have the USB-C output, which is up to 60 watts max. Now what I'll do is I'll take another power station and we'll test that as far as if we can get, you know, that true wattage out of there. Let me burn up some power on this one while we're waiting here, and then we'll be able to test that and see if we can get the actual full wattage out of there. So we'll definitely test that. Okay, let's see here. Let's hook this up. Sorry guys, I should have had this ready to go. All right, so that's pulling out energy, and that's pulling out energy. Okay, so now we're waiting for, sorry about that, guys. Okay, while we're waiting for that to, I'm trying to empty some of the power out of another power station so I can power dump it, and that way you can see, you know, how much power you get out of there. Your operating temperature is anywhere between -4 and 131 degrees Fahrenheit. Obviously, the 131 is very hot. I don't think you'll ever be in that situation. The -4 is nice. It's sub-freezing, which is nice because it gives you more opportunity, and lithium iron phosphate goes down a little bit lower than lithium ion. Batteries in general don't like cold weather, so the more you're in the warmer weather, obviously the better results that you're going to get. The product size is it's 10 inches by about 8 inches, well, just under 9 inches and just under 9. The actual specs are 10.2 by 8.7. By 8.6. It does have a very wide base, guys. You see this? It's very, very wide base. The colors are very bright. It's nice to see. It's easy to see at night. Obviously, if you have it setting outside, you can see it real nice. You do have, remember, this is 299 watt hours. You have an expansion battery that goes here through this port here, and that allows another 600 watt hours of power, bringing this just under 1,000 watt hour complete for the whole system. So that's nice that you can expand a small power station like this. It does weigh about 15 pounds, and then with the other 600 watt, it's about 20. So that brings the entire system to just about 35 pounds for the whole system. And then of course you can carry one in one hand and one in the other and split them apart. And then when you get to where you're going, you can just plug them right back in. Very simple. It's just a cord that goes right in here from this one into the battery jump extra portion of that. VTOMAN or VTOMAN, they sent me this thing too, and they sent this originally, and we didn't know what it was as far as, well, we knew kind of what it was, but we didn't know how to use it. We didn't know that this actually goes into the power station, so hence the name, probably jump. This is a, you know, in case you're in trouble, you got a booster here. You plug this right in the jumper cable right here. There's another port on this side, and then you can plug that in your jumper cable, hit the boost button. It'll tell you if it's hooked up right or not by the green. And then you have an opportunity to super jump start a car. You know, so I think that's pretty cool. You know, not a lot of power stations give that. There's probably capacitors in there that build up energy, and then it shoots it out to the battery and kind of jolts your car start. Kind of like, you know, those little things you put on your heart there, and, you know, hence the name jumper cables, if you will. All right, so we're going to test out. Let's see, I think that's all the specs there. We're going to test out the power. As far as the USBs, we're going to plug a bunch of stuff in and see what we get here. And then we're going to, oh, I noticed that when you turn it on, guys, if you click the button, it goes right to the capacity, okay? Now, you cannot turn this off, I noticed. Anyway, you have to just wait. I thought maybe if you hold the button down, see how it doesn't do anything here? So this has to turn off by itself. I haven't found a way to turn that off yet. and it goes off. I'll leave it in real time. You can see it turns off in about 10 or 15 seconds. So I don't know if there is a way to turn that off or I just missed it, but what we're going to do is we're going to plug in a bunch of USB stuff while we're waiting for that other power station to kind of power dump. So we're going to use the, let's do this one here, and then we're turn on a little fan here. Oh, you got to turn it on. I forgot. You know, one thing that's nice with this little power station is the ability to have it like all on at the same time, which most power stations have. That's the fan, guys. That's the AC fan for the inverter. I do smell a little bit of that, you know, that plasticky smell when you first turn this on. I noticed that, and I have a feeling that has to do with the high paint color. I think that goes away in time, like anything. But just, you know, be aware that you do have that strong odor of kind of that painty smell or that plasticky smell when you first turn on for the first couple times. I do like the outputs. They're easily marked. Notice the screen dims to save power. So we're using about 4 watts on this little fan here. We're going to plug. Let's see. Let's put this one here. We're going to try this output here. And then we're going to go this way. We're going to do this here. And then we're going to do spaghetti wires, guys. I always like testing these as much as I can. You know, I'm not a professional. I'm the average user that buys this and they kind of pop stuff in there. That's charging. And then, you know, you kind of gives it a try. See, there you go. Okay, so there's another thing that I found out that you can use for that little recessed area is, you know, if you're charging your phone, you slide it right in there like that, and it kind of stays, right? So that's nice. Okay. And then let's see, we have this one here we're going to do on the bottom. Now we're going to use the quick charge on the bottom, and then we're going to plug this bad boy into a little phone here. So we're going to charge that phone. Let's see what that does here. And there you go. So you got power. This is a real old phone, guys. All right, there you go. So you got power. I don't know if you can see that, but it's right there. If I turn, let me see, if I turn this off, you might get a better look at the power screen here. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. There you go. Okay, so that's a little bit better, right? Okay, so then see, like, so if you did your phone there, you can just slide it in the case. You know, it kind of protects it there from something falling on it, maybe. I don't know. All right, so we'll put let's put the phone in there, and then let's put this in here, and that way you can see everything kind of, because it's gonna be spaghetti wires, guys. That's how these reviews go. And then let's see, the power dumping I want to try. Let's see if the other power station is ready. Now notice that screen dimmed down. And then when you turn off everything to the capacity, you have to wait about 10 or 15 seconds, and then this will go into standby. But there's no way that I found out how to turn that off. And then, of course, you have your lights. You know, let's do this here, just to kind of show you, because it does strobe, and some people are kind of sensitive to strobing lights. Here you got low, medium, and then high strobing, and then your SOS thing. So you do have that as well. It's nice that it's not such a direct light, guys. This will light up an entire room. It's extremely bright. But that is nice to have, like, you know, like I said, if you're changing a car tire or something like that, you know, with the lugs, and you put the lugs up here, you can see the light. So that's nice. You know, a lot of people don't like lights on power stations. I do. I don't know why. I like that. You know, if you're walking down, if you're going fishing, you're going from your campsite, you're going from your camper, you're going from your log cabin, you know, whatever you're walking from, you could hold that and then light up the path as you walk. Now, a lot of people have cell phones, but the trouble with cell phones is that cell phone lights, the LED lights are very direct, so that, you know, they would shoot a beam right there, which will only light up a small area of the path, and, you know, a wash light like that would light up the entire array. So, you know, if you're walking down, like in the woods or something like that, you ever get that, you know, like you know, the branch in the head, well, you know, that small one that hanging over the leaves? I always hated that, and you never see them coming. So with a wash light, you can see that and light up that path fully. Okay, so we're gonna try that there, and now we have, let's see here. Okay, now we're gonna push this little thing to the limit here. Now this is remember, it's a 600 watt inverter, so it should be able to hold these fine. This is a 200 watt. And we're going to plug this in here, and then there's this one, which is a 400 watt inverter. Okay, now we're burning about 186 watts already, so let's do this one here. And here, so you saw it surge up to about 700, and there you go. So it popped already, guys. So it definitely can't, at least the AC popped. So it can't hold that much of a load. So let's see, let's turn off the DC for now here and just test this real quick here. Turn on the AC. Very simple. Once you pop it, guys, you just hit the button. It's done. Okay, so there you go. It's 620. Now remember, it's a 600 watt inverter. That dropped to 608, 604. We'll see how long it can hold that. These are very hot, so I'm going to turn these at summertime, guys. I'm not a fan of the heat in summer. You can still see, obviously, that they're still on. We're drawing 576 watt hours, and we'll leave it on for a few minutes. And, you know, we're kind of see what we get out of there. Let's see here. Okay, keep that off. And then this is a regulated output, by the way, this little 12 volt. When you turn it on, there's no cover, so it's hot, guys. You don't want to go sticking anything in there. And then as you charge this way, like, let's try that too. Let's try the charge through. So we'll do super spaghetti over here. Okay, let's get this bad boy. Hopefully you can see this on camera on this angle. If you can't see it, I'll read it out to you guys. Maybe I'll put a little bit on an angle like this here. That way you can see everything. We're still pulling out. Notice the screen, it dims quickly, guys. So you got to, you know, keep tapping that if you want to have it, you know, if you want to, you know, pay attention to that. So let's reset this little guy over here. Okay, and then we're going to plug this bad boy in here. And then this one is just a barrel. It looks like a 5521 barrel. That's pretty basic. A lot of old stuff has a 5521. And then we'll plug that in here, and we're going to see if the charge through feature works, guys, because we're down to 71% capacity now, and we're still burning 562 watt hours. See how fast that screen goes down. And then here we have the charging. So let's see. Notice that as soon as I plugged it in, that automatically turned on the USB output. Let me try that again. That's a little different. They automatically turn that on. Yep. So I do smell just a little bit of that, you know, that paint smell. And I have a feeling, like I said, that's all the new plastic in it. That does go away in time, of course. But let me turn this off again, and I want to plug this in and see what that does again here. Okay, let it settle down for a second here. Obviously, when you burn that much power out of a small power station like this, guys, you don't have much time. So you can literally watch the numbers drop in real time. But you know, this, even though it's made for 600 watts, guys, I always recommend doing about 50% load on the battery. So if you have 600 watt hours of battery, I recommend up to, or you know, sweet spots about 300 watts. Usually half the battery draw. People are gonna, you know, disagree with that or agree, but that's what I like to do. I like to try to stay at least half or less of whatever the battery pack is. I think it's longevity of the battery cells too. Okay, so if you plug this in again, now notice the USB is off, guys, and the DC is off. Let's see, when you plug this in, let's see if it does that again. Okay, it didn't do that this time, but last time it kind of turned them all on. So there, you gotta click them again. Okay, so now they're on. Okay, and now we have 587, so we're gonna push it a little bit more. All right, you know what, let me try that one more time, guys. I just want to make sure that wasn't like a glitch there. Let's see. So okay, so everything's off, right? Let it settle down, and then we'll plug it in here and see if that turns on again. Nope, it didn't. Okay, so maybe I bumped the button. I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch the video, guys. Let me know what you saw when I plugged this in. Did this turn on, or was it already on? It might have been on. Maybe I missed it. Okay, so let's plug this in here. Okay, now notice that the number flashes. This is a very old school style. You know, it's simplistic, but it works. Okay, so obviously we're bringing in. Oh yeah, I noticed that also, guys, that there's no battery meter for what's coming in, guys. I just noticed that. I didn't catch that right away either. Is when you plug in the AC over there. Let's turn that back on. Okay, let's unhook this guy. I had to find something bigger to plug in here, guys. Now I do have a 200 watt heater, my heat. my Lasco, and I have a big oil radiator kind of heater, old school, on the floor. It's too big to put up on my little workbench here. My workbench is not as big as I wish it could be, but it's not everything. You always run out of space. Okay, I always go back to this dim, guys. Like I said, you can see it, but boy, that's an irritating feature on there. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on the AC here. Turn the USB off. Turn the AC on. It'll run through its little startup thing. Okay. And now we're gonna go and shoot. Let's see. Let's put full power into it. That's a 1200 watt heater, guys, on high. And we'll see what it does here. That heating element will kick on, and it's not pulling out full. That's on high, guys. Yeah, that is on high, but it's only bringing out 561 watts. Yeah. See. Yeah, see that? I'm not a fan of that, guys. I don't like having to turn that on and off. Let's turn this on and this on here. That is a 1200 watt heater. But notice it's not bringing out 1200 watts. So I have this on now, too. I think the power meter is not accurate, guys. Or you know what, though? Wait a minute. There's only 3 spots for the numbers. If it's a 1200 watt here, remember it's only a 600 watt inverter, so it's probably, you see, I don't like that. Okay. Yeah, there's no space for the last number, guys. So it's only designed to go up to 600 watts. So let's see here. Let's plug this one into here. Hopefully we can plug it into here. Okay, and then we're going to see what's going on with the, see if it's pure sine and everything here. 60 hertz, okay. 111, so the 110 volt outputs. Fan turned on because obviously it's hot. I got to hit the button and turn it off again. That's a feature I can't get over, guys. I don't know, I don't like that. All right, let's plug this bad boy into here. Let's see what the wattage is on this thing. Okay, so 1.7, that's the standby button. So I'm going to turn it on high. That's a 1200 watt heater. Notice it shot up to 800. Okay, so I have a feeling that's downstepping the voltage, guys. Let's see here. Let's see the voltage here. Yep, see? So the voltage drops down really, really low, guys, to enable to run a heater like that. That I'm not a fan of, other than a heater, but that's something I don't like to see. Let's try. Let's see. Let's go to 600. Okay. So now it's on a 600 watt draw, which is what this inverter is supposed to do, a 600. So it downsteps the voltage to be able to push that up. And it didn't pop it. It just downstepped it. So that's not safe for, like, you know, expensive equipment or stuff. Only heater stuff like that. But notice the 110 went right back when I went back to the 600 watts, which is 517. A 600 watt heater is not always 600 watts, but yeah, the screen, guys, I don't know, it's irritating. Let me know what you think. Like I said, it's bright enough to see. It's just I like to be able to make it more bright without having to turn on or off one of these things. I think on their bigger power stations, hopefully they're able to fix that, and then we'll see what happens with the charge through, as far as what happens to the voltage or anything. Okay, so remember, there's no meter that tells you how much watts is going in. It just minuses it from that. Do you guys remember the other power stations I have with the DC meter? And when you use the DC power out, when you have solar coming in, instead of showing you 2 meters, it just minuses from that meter. So that way, if you're bringing in solar, it would go to a negative number, if you remember that. I think that's how this works. Now notice we're burning out about 500 watts here and about 514 here. So this is very bouncy. I don't think this is 100% accurate, guys. These are pretty accurate. They're not bad. They're very cheapy devices, but overall, all in all, I think these are very, very accurate as far as not scientific accurate, but accurate to a home user's need. It gets very, very close to the actual true power coming out. But notice this one's off, guys. It's bouncing from 502 to 560. Hopefully you can see that okay. yeah, the power's coming in, but it's minusing off there. That's the actual power. Yes, it's just the meter's weird, guys. Sorry, I just had to pause for a second. I had to think about the meter's weird. I really wish it would have. And the fans are loud, guys. Yeah, the fans are loud. I could see, you know, with as loud as the fans, I could see this an emergency situation for your car, or you know, working in the workshop. But as far as like in the cabin while you're sleeping and stuff, it is a little bit of noise in there, guys. A little bit of noise. Well, like I said, these reviews have to be honest. It's, you know, it's first time use of this. We've had it for about a week now, and you know, so there's not a longevity use yet. But the few things that I like and dislike, I like the light, but I don't like you have to turn on that screen. I like the recessed area for the phones and whatnot. You can kind of put your phone in there and let it charge safely. But there are some things that I'm not a fan of with the meter, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm a little spoiled, guys, because I have bigger power stations, and maybe that's it. But I do like having like, you know, multiple output screens. I know this is a small one, and maybe I'm maybe nitpicking a little too much, and I apologize if I'm doing that. But like I said, this is a flat out honest review, because I want to make sure that, you know, if this is right for you or if it's not, as far as what I've noticed. Notice I'm getting that 600 watt heater. It's heating up now, and the voltage stays at 60 hertz. So you're good on your pure sine. Your wattage actually out is, let's see what that says here, right there, 510. And notice this is all bouncy, and I think obviously because you have this coming in, that affects that power meter. If I pull this out and we look at the actual watts, I'll notice we're getting the capacity down here. Notice that it says 503 or 500 out, and then this one says 514. This one I trust, this one I don't, guys. You know, I know this is just a guesstimate, but I think that needs a little bit of fine tuning there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of going through some thoughts in my head as far as everything worked on the power station. I can't complain about that. I like the build quality. Let's unplug this here and turn this off. I like the let me put some energy back in there. You don't want to run your batteries under 20% all the time, guys. It eats away your battery cells. As far as the starter one, guys, I think it's an okay unit. I do like the idea that you can put the extra battery pack to it and put it up to 1,000 watt hours. I guess I'll go through the likes and dislikes right now, guys. I think I tested everything on camera that I wanted to test for this video. So I'll run through the likes right away. The handle's strong, very durable. It's very, very durable. As you can see, see that, like, yeah, don't throw around lithium batteries, guys. Sorry, I dropped it. It's a little bit springy, but there's no way that you're going to hurt that. I think that's going to be there in the long term. I like the recessed area. I do like the wide stance of it. It's impossible to tip over, guys. I mean, it's as wide as it is long, almost. The screen, though, that's a big drawback. I love the jumper cables. I like that idea where you can, you know, plug this in and power up your car real quick. I think that's where this thing has a strong point. You know, every system has a weak point and a strong point. The weak point is obviously the screen. I go back to it over and over, guys, that you have to turn on something to turn it off just to get the screen. As you can see that, you know, like I keep going back to that. I love the light. I like the heavy-duty Allen bolts. I like that. It's not like a screwdriver kind of thing. It's a real mechanics bolt, if you will. There's nothing really. The fans are loud. I didn't like the smell, guys, as far as the, you know, that plasticky smell, obviously, when you use and that usually goes away within a week or two. There's still a faint smell of it. And I think it's just the paint they use, guys. They use that really heavy based paint as far as the odor, and then it burns off over time. I like the colors. The colors are very bright. There's no way you're going to miss that. If you have it sitting on a shop bench or something like that, you'll see it as soon as you open your door. It's yellow. I'm a big fan of DeWalt tools, guys. I do like that. And I know this is a very small thing, but, you know, I try to mention everything, but notice it matches very well with my DeWalt set. I'm a uniform guys. I do like the uniformity where everything looks the same. I haven't used that in a while. Obviously, it's dusty. I do like that, but I know that the colors doesn't not affect the usability of the device there. Sorry, I had to put something down. Yeah, the screen, I keep going back to it, guys. I wish that the meter had an input and an output. They also recommended, I noticed that in the user's manual, and it's kind of common sense, but you know, for new people out there, they might not know. There you have the temperature right here. That's obviously if the battery pack is too hot, is a temperature warning. This is an overload warning, and then that's the fan. That's the 3 symbols you have up there. But I wish, now notice, you see that right there? There is a spot right there. It says 1888. So it does have a spot there, but like here, let's try it one more time here, just for giggles here. But I didn't see that spot light up here. Let's see. Yeah, I keep going back to the screen, guys. Nice box. It has a couple quirks with it, and hopefully they got, you know, a bigger and better system that kind of worked out these bugs. So if you turn on the AC, okay, it'll go through its startup, and then like I said, remember that's a 1200 watt heater, guys. Let's see on camera. Let's watch real close and see if that 4th number even lights up there. All right, so that's 1200 plus watts. Notice it got to 7. 9, I saw 9, but I didn't see all the way to 12. That usually spikes, guys. That heater usually spikes all the way up, and now it's resting back to its original state of 600. And then remember that voltage drops down. That I'm not a fan of, guys. But remember, this is not, oh, see, there you go. See, I tripped it, okay. So you can only run a 1200 surge for that long. That was literally probably, it was, you know, seconds, 5 or 6 seconds. But remember, it's not designed to run. That's a surge power, so we'll go back to the, let's see, you got to turn that back on. That's how you reset it, guys. And then you go back to, we'll let it start, there it goes, and then we'll put it back to its 600 watts. Let's see what it does here. There's the heating element, okay. And then as that's doing it one more time, like here, let's go to medium, which is normally 900 watts out. And we'll see what that does. So there's your higher than 600, but remember the voltage drops down. So it's, you know, for heaters, the screen, I keep going back to the screen, guys. VTOMAN, is that normal when the screen, that you have to hit one of these buttons to turn that screen back brighter? I wish I just had something that would, you know, maybe a little access button to make that screen. Maybe that's the 1st generation thing. I don't know if this is a newer model or older model. All right, let's turn this off because we don't want any more heaters. There was another thing, obviously, where, well, basically what it said, somewhere in here it said something about the charge through feature. Now, the charge through does work, except the problem is, like I said, this changes from input watts, which is what's going in now, to the output watts, and it minuses it like the old DC meters. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. Maybe they just didn't have enough room to put this. Like, these are great. They're nice and big, but I think maybe that would have been a drawback, is they use so much room on the board that they didn't have enough room for the other meter. And there's the screen again. So you got to turn the DC on and turn it back off. Man, I keep going back to that. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see here. I wanted to find that here. Okay, so here's the big questions here, the FAQs. It says what devices can power. So anything up to 600 watts, guys, and a 1200 peak power, except the meter doesn't show that. And if you go up to 1200, you know, that voltage drops down. I'm not a fan of that. To how to know the working time of my device, it's rated about 85%, guys. I got about 89% out of the battery capacity for AC. That obviously depends on your operating temperature, how much the fans kick on, how much power you're using, and whatnot. That could, but it was nice that they rated at 85, which is usually typical for lithium iron phosphate batteries. How long can the jump 600 charge my devices? Well, obviously it'll charge as long as you have energy. Of course, it all depends on how much energy you pull out, which is your time. This is your see, you got to do it again, guys. Man, I keep going back to it. I'm sorry. So obviously it'll be charged at 4.4 hours. Very long charging time, guys. So solar's the same way. I tested it. You can only get up to about 50. It's rated for 60 watts, but you never get. I never got higher than 56 watts input. 55, 56. Let's see. Oh, this one here. So can the Jump 600X be charged while using, that's the charge through feature. It says yes, the Jump 600X supports pass-through charging, but we don't suggest that because it'll make damage to the battery. So this is obviously Chinese to English translation, because it'll make damage to the battery life. So basically what it is you're putting strain and stress on those battery cells, guys. That was like an on and off fan. Fans are very loud, guys, on this thing. Let's see. And then it had, can the Jump 600 be used as a UPS? No, it doesn't have a UPS. And then how they explained it here is, no, the Jump 600X can't be used as UPS because you need to press a button manually to turn on the AC, DC, and USB output. It cannot turn on automatically. So basically, that's I think that's a liability thing, guys. If something were to happen to this and it has a UPS and it failed, obviously the company would be liable for that probably. So it's called human error. So you have to come and actually click on the button, and that way the human did it and not the device. That's a liability thing. The DC ports, are they regulated? Yes, they are regulated, guys. The 255/21 outputs and the cigarette is 10 amps at 12 volts. It's regulated output. It comes out about just over 13 volt output. How many solar panels can Jump 600 support? So like I said, this is a Chinese to English translation, guys. And so sometimes you remember the old joke, 1980 stereo instructions, guys, if you remember that far back, or the VCR ones. So they mean well, but I wish that the companies overall would have English translator. Like, every company would have one person from every country as like an ambassador or something like that can translate these real good. So they read very well. So your regulated outputs, and then as far as the solar panels, basically any solar panel up to 30 volts. I like to stay a little bit of headroom, like 20-25 volts on the input, guys. Notice that this doesn't have the power in, unless that's it, but that's a percentage. So usually they have double meters, one out and one in. Let's unhook that real quick here. Yeah, see, notice that, guys? Okay, yeah, I just noticed that. I did not notice that when I was testing it. It's something I overlooked. So, yeah, see, notice that power is dropping quickly. When I did capacity test, we got about 260 watt hours out of the 290 for the 299 for the system. It's just under 90% battery capacity. Let's see, let's plug in this bad boy here. I just like to spaghetti wires everything up. And then this is one of those fancy cups. This is my wife's cup, where it's got like a computer screen in it, like a TV. It's crazy. All right, so that's set to 145 as far as the see. Notice, guys, that see that. So when you want to put the screen back on, okay, see that inverter had to turn back on. Notice when you put the screen back on, guys, there's no quick button that makes it not dim. I noticed that, unless you hit the button, and then of course that turns off the thing. That's something I didn't care for on this machine, because you want to be able to tap the button and have the light on without having to turn off these outlets. I suppose you might be able to do it like that too, but that's one drawback of what I noticed with this, is if you want the screen to light back up, we'll wait and try it again. We'll see when it dims, and then I'll show you that you have to hit one of these buttons to turn the screen back on bright, and then of course by hitting the button you're turning off this this AC inverter, DC inverter, or the USB inverter, or the USB ports. So notice it's dropping quick because obviously we're using 611, so it's definitely able to. Okay, so here it dimmed. Okay, so perfect timing. So it dimmed like that. Now notice that if you want the screen, it's not a touch screen, obviously. Let's try the light and see if it pops back on. Okay, so you can do the light. I thought it's kind of an extra step though. We'll wait for it to dim one more time, and then we'll try these. That's the one thing I don't like about that as far as the screen, guys. So, but this is, I think, is a very entry-level power station. It's basically a battery in a box. So we'll wait for it to dim one more time, and then we'll try the USB, and we'll see if you have to turn that off to get that screen to light back up. Obviously, if you plug it back in, it'll do it too. But I don't like that you have to kind of reset something. Okay, so there it goes again. So let's just hit the USB. Now that should normally just brighten that up. And notice when you hit that, that turned off. See, that USB turned off. That fan died. So, and the cup's actually in the 12 volt. But yeah, that's one thing I didn't like with the power station, is you have to almost reset one of these, or you do have to kind of reset to get the screen to light back up. I think that was a big overlooked thing, where you should be able to tap that when to make the screen bright again. The screen doesn't turn off, of course, but you have to hit that to to make it bright again. Okay, so that's going good here, and then we're going to test the power dumping of that. The charger's bringing out 71 watts from the wall, but notice that see there's the screen again, guys. So if I hit the DC to make the screen bright again, yeah, see how it turned off the DC? I don't like that. It's a big drawback with this system. And then, like I said, the other one was, as far as a dislike of the system, is it doesn't have the power going in. So you really don't know what kind of energy is going in the box at any given time, right? So what we're doing is, let's turn off the AC. Okay, now notice that you have 19 watts going out, but you don't have that energy input. So let's turn off this, and let's turn off this. So we're turning off all, and now notice that you have that energy input, guys. So anytime that you're using the output, like let's put the cup back on, notice that see, so it has a one screen for input output. That's one more drawback with this, is it doesn't have separate input output, to where like like I said, so turn this on, and notice that you're burning out 20 watts on the USB, and then with the 35 watts on the DC, right? And then obviously when you have all these off, it shows you the input. I think that's a drawback, guys. I like to have those different on a separate meter. So here, let's kind of show. It's kind of hard to explain, but all the information is on one meter, guys. So if you plug this in, right, and then you can see the actual power coming in, that should go up to about 50 or 60. I think 65 is tops. Notice that this maxes out now at about 54. And it might go a little bit higher, because it was up to 72 over there, which means that'll go up to, yeah, see, it'll inch up, guys. As the batteries get warm, obviously, this has to ramp up. But now notice, as soon as I turn on that DC, which is that cup, notice that this screen went to the DC output as opposed to the input. It does have a charge through feature, guys. It does work, but you can't see the numbers coming through. As far as what's going in the system, so you have no idea, unless you have a meter like that, you have no idea what's going in the system at any time, from like your solar or stuff like that, so I look at that as a drawback, guys. I do. And then for the screen to stay bright, you have to basically turn this off and then hit it again to turn that on. So notice when I turn off the DC, this will spike back to what's coming in from the wall, right? And then if you turn on the USB, notice that that'll drop. See, 44. Now that's obviously what I'm using as far as the USBs, which is all the phones and the charging and the fan and everything, but you still can't see that power coming in. Or if I turn on this one, I don't know if this one will turn back on, guys, because it heats up really high. We'll have to wait and see. But let's turn yeah, okay, so I think it kicked on. Nope, see, this one doesn't kick on. This one has a very, very hot block in it, guys, so when it gets really hot, it doesn't turn back on right away. You got to kind of let it cool down. But notice that with that screen again, now this is the 131 from this one, minus, because it's 200 watt heater, minus what is coming in from the wall. So it's, like I said, it's an all-in-one kind of thing. And then notice when that screen goes dim, guys, there's no way to make the screen go without turning off. See? So you have to literally turn one of these off or hit another one on to get that screen to pop back on. Yep. Yeah, so that's one drawback, guys. Let's try one more test here. But that's the whole point of a test, guys, is to, see what you can and you can't do with this. Let's do the DC out and see what that does again. So the charge through is the AC, that minus is from the AC coming in. Actually, let's do that test, guys. Let's do this. That'll turn on this little bad boy. Now notice you got 173, takes a second here, and then that kicks up. So you have about a 200 watt heater that usually settles at about 170. And then what we do is we plug that in again to see what that does, up or down. And then let's see, 178. See, now notice how that dropped down, guys. So basically what it's doing is it's bringing in energy from the wall or the solar panel in this situation, and then minusing it from what you're using. So you definitely know that you're still burning out 121 watts, 119 from the battery cells, but it doesn't tell you how much power is coming in. That's the two drawbacks, guys. I do like the Allen bolts. I do like the light. The screen I'm kind of disappointed with that dimming. It's still bright enough to read, guys, don't get me wrong. As you can probably still see it clearly, but in order to turn that back on, yeah, I keep going back to that. Alright, what else can we test here? I'd like to test the power dumping. Let's get all this spaghetti stuff out of here. Like I said, I think this is a very intro level device. Kind of a starter one here. Let's undo all this stuff here. This is a sponsored review, but even though that a company sends this to us to test and to see, guys, I'm very honest about it. If there's things I dislike, I always talk about them because I want you to know what I didn't like, and then if you can agree or disagree, if that's right for you, that's the whole point of a review. This isn't one of those channels that it just basically does commercials. I like to test everything and see if I like it, because when it comes down to the end of the day, you need this for what it's made for and not a selling point or something like that. All right, let's get the fan out of the way. So now we're going to test out the power dumping feature as far as how much power can come out of here, that USB-C. Now notice that screen dimmed again, guys. It's definitely bright enough to see still. It definitely is. So it's not a problem, but I keep going back to it. You got to hit one of these, see, and you turn it on and turn it off just to get that fried again. So you literally have to activate one of these. I think that would be the easiest one, is a USB, and then you have to turn it off again. Because if you turn this on and leave it on, guys, it's going to eat away your power, right? So you have to remember to tap it, let the screen get bright, and then tap it again. Now we're bringing in 58 watts. Hopefully you can see that. I'll put it kind of more at the angle. And then this is, I call this my power dumping power station. So basically, I test all the USB outputs into this thing. It has a very dim screen. This is an old Mylan one with a lithium-ion battery, but I like it for this test. So we got to get a USB-C to USB-C cable, which I have over here somewhere. I have this one and this one. And then we're going to plug that into now this is a 60 watt output USB, so we'll turn that on. And then this is a power delivery input output port. So there's very few power stations have that, where you can actually go in and charge this thing by the USB-C. That's very unique. Okay, so you plug that in there, and then we'll see. Let's unplug this so we can actually see the real power output, and then this should get up to that 60 watts, guys. And it looks like it will. Yep, 55. So normally you don't always get 100% output, because you do have conversion loss, guys. But this is 55 watts out and 53 in. Now you cannot see that screen, guys. It is so dim. It's an old screen, but you can see the 55 out clear as day on that one. And then this one, hopefully you can see that. I know it's very hard to see. It's 53. This screen is almost, I don't know if it's just getting old, but you cannot see that screen. It's so dim. But this is 53 watts going in, and then 55 out. I always have to go back to this, guys. It's one downside with this power station. This has pluses and it has minuses like any system. But notice that if you want that bright again, I haven't figured out a way other than to turn the light on and cycle the light to get that screen, or the AC, USB, or DC. I think that's a drawback. Okay, let's see. If I talked about the capacity, guys, it's just under 90% for the battery cells. It was able to hold the 600 watts fine. The surge, let me get something real big here if I got that here. I have nothing that big here. Hold on, I'll be right back. The VOC. So I'd recommend one, 100 watt solar panel. I think it'll be fine. I'm kind of an overkill kind of guys. I like the over paneling. I'd put a 200 watt panel to this, and that way on the the bad days you definitely get more power coming in. Does the 600X have an MPPT feature? Yes. So all VTOMAN or VTOMAN power stations are built in MPPT feature. You don't need to use extra controller, MPPT controller to connect the Jump 600X power station with your solar panel. So obviously that's nice is to have that built in, guys, where you don't have that extra stuff that you have to hook up. You can go straight in through the barrel. I'm not a fan of the barrels, guys. I'm not. I wish this had maybe Anderson power pole, but like I said, this is a very entry-level device, very capable in its needs of what it can do as far as like the jumper cable. I like that. I like the expansion battery thing. I do like that the AC stays at about 110 when you pull out 600 watts. Sometimes you have that voltage sag that makes this go down to 108 or 109 on other power stations. This one actually held its own, but once you pass that 600 mark, guys, the voltage starts dropping rapidly. As you saw, it went down to about 70 some volts. So you definitely don't want to put anything big, but it lets you know that nothing over 600 watts. I keep going back to the screen. Please, VTOMAN, leave a comment if you could. Send me a message. Is there a way to make this screen brighter? Like I said, it's bright enough to read, but if you were outside, guys, you'd want to have that. You know what I mean? Without turning that AC on or off like that. But let's see here. Maybe it's just yeah, see, so there's really, let me show you one more thing that was kind of, so notice that screen is on 16 capacity, and there's really there's no way to turn the screen off. You know what I mean? I mean, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. You have to let this screen kind of die itself there. I tried to hold down the button, but all it does, it's an on-off. It's a very simplistic button. The buttons are very nice. They work very, very clean. They're not too clickety, that big click sound, that fake kind of buttony kind of click sound. But notice that there's no way to turn that screen off. So if you hold down the AC, it just turns on. You hold down the AC and it turns off. Same with these guys. So you just kind of have to let it. I'm gonna let it die in real time, guys. While I finish up my review here as far as what it is. I like the lithium iron phosphate batteries, guys. 3,000 plus cycles. That's a plus. I like the battery expansion. I love the light. The recessed areas kind of grow on me. I like that. I like the real bolts that they put in there. They don't put little screws, cheapies. These are actually Allen bolts. I like that. And then hopefully the screen will kind of pass out here. You can see it in real time. I think it's like 30 seconds. See, first it dims and then it kind of goes. But now notice that, guys, there's no quick way to turn that off that I've seen. Here we're just still waiting in real time to see what happens here. Waiting. The waiting game, guys. That's just how. And I don't want to, cut the video. I don't like to jump in. That's why my videos are so long, guys. I ramble too much, and I like to see stuff in real time because, like I said, if I were to buy this for myself, I'd want to see all this stuff. As simple as some of the. There we go. It died. So probably about 30 seconds, guys. A timer, and then if you hit that, notice it turns back on, but these are not on. So when it's off, you could check the capacity, but there's no way to turn that screen back off now. If you hit the button again, it just turns on. So I've never seen that number one, as you saw in the testing. And I hate to be so critical, VTOMAN, but maybe I'm kind of spoiled as far as all the other power stations I have. I do thank you very, 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 very much for sending me this. I'm honored that my channel is big enough that you guys would even send me something, so I appreciate that. That number one, I've never seen that show up yet, and I saw this go up to about 9 something, but I've never seen that number one. I can see it, like if you angle it and use a light, you can see that it's on the board, but I've never seen it light up. All right, guys, I think overall, I think for a starter power station, I think it's capable. I wish that the meters were a little, different. If there was input, output, I like that. But maybe the screen and the power station is just too small. I mean, it's only a 300 watt, but other power stations out there have that, where you have a little bit more data on there, a little data. But notice when you plug it in, that screen turns on. Yeah, I like to hear from VTOMAN or VTOMAN. Other than I think it's capable. I think it's capable of doing what it's promising. I think it just has a few drawbacks. They're not overpowering, but the meter and the screen is a big one for me. All right, guys. I guess that'll complete it. I wanted to be as critical and as honest as I could. The batteries are capable. It can run that 600 watt. This runs. It's regulated. This puts out what it says. So overall, the box says it does what it says it can do. There's just a few quirks that I'm not a fan of. All right, guys. Well, ramble on. Be safe. I hope you like this. This is a first-time usage of this. We used it for about a week, so I would classify that as first-time usage. Obviously, long-time usage would possibly change the review as far as, do the battery cells hold up, or does the inverters hold up, and things like that. But overall, I think it's capable of doing what it says. Just a few things that are kind of a downside. All right, guys. Well, I hope you liked the review. Ramble on. Be safe, and I'll talk to you guys next on Ramblin Bob Reviews. Bye, guys.